Hello dosto, welcome to the second tutorial. So in this tutorial we'll continue on the concept that we learned in the last video, essentially the subdivision. So today what we want to do is use that concept to actually learn a melody. So this will be kind of your first melody, you can imagine. So of course the prerequisite for this video is that you should have basic understanding of subdivisions that we did in the last video. Another prerequisite that I will put out is essentially that you cannot be shy about things if you want to learn it. So what I want to put out here is that if you have any doubt, you have to either ask me, you can email me, leave a comment, or you can go to internet and do some research about it. But the point is that don't assume that it's clear to you. If there is an iota of doubt, go ahead and clarify that specific concept. So the focus should be initially not to just mug up some notes, but also understand what's going on behind it. That will set a good, I will say, ground for us to learn more advanced things in future. Alright, so before we jump to the actual tutorial, I would also just go through some questions that people asked me via different channels. So someone asked, why do I have to learn subdivisions? How do I use subdivisions? So that will be clear in this video essentially, but the basic concept behind subdivision is essentially to set up a common language between, say, you and me. How do I convey the timing of the notes when you have I can tell you notes, right? ye bajana hai, but how do I convey kab bajana hai? So that's where subdivisions will essentially help us to start with. And of course, no doubt, internally it's essential that you are aware of this concept that ऐसा हो रहा है, you are playing notes at times जो end पे आ रहे हैं, आप आगे जाके you will hear about upbeat, downbeat. So it's good to be aware about that what you are doing, उसके पीछे क्या technicalities हैं. Someone asked, should I start with an electric or acoustic guitar? Frankly speaking, I will recommend go with an electric if you have one, if you can afford one, of course. And the reason I say that is you have to give yourself chance to actually hone this skill, right? You cannot buy a second-hand cheap guitar with like high action and expect yourself to be in Wing Malmsteen, right? You have to give yourself the opportunity that you can learn. So best is to have the smoothest, softest guitar, and I will say, of course, electric is there. You can also use acoustic. I will say go for a good acoustic where acoustic which takes care about your fingers, because most of the students will drop off कि यार बहुत दर्द हो रहा है. In future, actually, videos I will also introduce how you can connect your electric with your computer, because some folks asked me, electric, if I go for electric, do I have to buy an amp? So that was true 10 years back, but nowadays you don't need an amp as such. You can just plug your electric into your computer, and there you will find various digital libraries which will give you like patches for distortion, clean and whatnot. So I will recommend, instead of spending money initially on amp, just go with the basic flow that you have in house. Will carry the amp anyways, right? Someone asked me, when will you tell us about scales and modes and things? So by the way, I've planned all various sections of the tutorial and I keep writing down. So there is actually a flow to these lessons, tutorials that I'm putting out here. And specifically to answer that question, it will be the fifth video where I will introduce the, say, major scale. But why not before that, right? I mean, so if we think of major scale as E is equal to MC square, so I think it's very important first we understand what square means, what E means, what M means, C means, then maybe we can make sense of this equation. नहीं तो of course t-shirt पे लिख के घूम रहे हम लोग, right? Anyways, so I think let's move ahead. So today what we are gonna do is we'll take a Bollywood melody. I have performed this melody in the past. I will link that video in the description below. On that point, always go through the description. Few things if I miss here and there in the video, I will write them down in the description. So I will recommend that you also go through the description. So let's see. We'll bring our old friend metronome to start with, and so this song is actually around 74 beats per minute. So I have dialed it at 74, and so before I tell you the notes, let's try to learn the melody using subdivisions. So let's give it a try. Whoops. So this is actually right now giving me even the and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and so let me change it to just a single beat, no divisions. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1E and a 2E and a 3 and 4 and a 1E and a 2E and a 3 and 4 and 1E and a 2E and a 3 and 4 and a 1E and a 2E and a 3 and 4 and a 1E and a 2E and a 3 and 4 and a 1E and a 2E and a 3 and 4. So I think this makes it clear why we are doing subdivisions. I hope you have recognized the song. It's so this is Maye Ni Maye. I will link the video in the description. You can check that out too. So let's keep going ahead with our metronome and now see and try to play these notes with the metronome. So 74 is actually pretty high, I will say, to start with. So let's dial back, I will say, all the way down to maybe actually 40. Somewhere I will say half the tempo of what the original is. Frankly speaking, I haven't checked what the original tempo is. I think it's close to 74. So on 40, what will happen is now these beats are too slow to keep us in a loop, right? So what we want to do here is actually we want to also get the ands. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a 1E and a 2E and a 3 and 4 and a 1E and a 2E and a 3 and 4. And a 1E and a 2E and a 3 and 4 and a 1E and a 2E and a 3 and 4. So pick up your guitars, try this out, this particular melody. In the next video we'll extend this even further. but before that, it's very important you play this with the melody. Important thing to recognize here is that actually the melody starts at and a, right? And one e and a two e and a three and four and a one e and a two e and a three and four and a one e and a two e and a three and four and a one e and a two e and a three and four. Alright guys, I think let's keep it small. Let me know in comments if you run into any issues, if you have any questions. All the best. Bye bye.